Good afternoon, Tiger fans. It's Tuesday, December 17th. We are at the Tiger Club of Kansas City, and our guest today is Jarrett Sutton, former Tiger basketball player, color commentator on telecasts, including tonight, and also a scout for the New Orleans Pelicans. Hey, Jarrett, thanks so much. Oh, and
Absolutely.
board member of the Tiger
Board member,
Club.
that's right. Can't forget that.
Thank you for coming back to us. You've been here with us before. A few comments on this year's Tiger basketball team.
Yeah, I think they're already showing their improvement. Starts with the personnel and the roster Dennis put together. They're a better defensive team. They're playing more of the style Dennis wants to play with. They're getting to the free throw line more, which is a big emphasis going into the year. It's great to see the evolution of Anthony Robinson playing as well as he's played. Mark Mitchell was obviously showing why he was one of the more sought-out transfers. And you got to be really happy with Tamar Bates. He's leading. Had a great game against Kansas. Hopefully we see more of that. The depth is a big part of what this Mizzou basketball team is going to be. The SEC is obviously going to be a hard road. But the Kansas win obviously is a big win. They got a big game against Illinois, too, down the road after this one tonight. So there's some games here to be had and to close non-conference on a good note. But they start open at Auburn, so there's not going to be any off night.
It won't get any easier,
but
it won't get any harder.
I do think they'll be highly competitive from what we've seen so far, and obviously that offense speaks for itself as a top 5 offense.
A lot of people were very disappointed. I think most Tiger fans very disappointed last year after having made the tournament and then to go winless. But there were a lot of things that happened. I happen to think that he just made some mistakes in constructing the roster after his success the first year. But he also had some injuries. John Tonje is one of the leading scorers in the Big Ten now. Caleb Grill is now showing what he could have been. Yep. So last year really was a lot of things that came together in a negative way, don't you think?
I think so. I mean, the injuries are a part of it. They were in a lot of games and couldn't close games. I think the struggle defensively, the struggle to rebound, the struggle just, I think athletically was challenging with what the personnel was. And you can see that with how they've not only brought in a great freshman class that I think has a lot of pieces that can help this group in a role, but then the transfer market as well, adding experience, knowing that depth is going to pay off. And I don't know if that depth last year was impactful enough. You had to have Sean East really carry the load in terms of being a scorer. And, I think having a natural point guard back and Anthony's development in that area, having Tony around, I think really goes a long way. So there were many factors last year. And I think you're already seeing that pay off this year in terms of that roster, what you're saying in the personnel.
It seems like they're more athletic this year.
Yeah.
And it seems like the depth, not only the numbers, but it's a more mature depth.
Mm-hmm. Experience is going to matter. Obviously every coach in college basketball is going to want to find older players that can come in and help you win right away. End of the day, though, you still have to hit on players that you recruit and you have to develop. I mean, player development's kind of a little bit of a tough conversation right now in an NIL portal space, but it still matters. And you're seeing that Trent Pierce, had a great game. They've had 7 different guys lead them in scoring through 10 games. That's a great sign. And I think once you get into league play more, you'll start to maybe see more of the Mark Mitchell, Tamar Bates, and kind of lead them more. But it's great that they have that depth and that have had that experience with guys having success.
And you talk about league, the SEC may be the best it's ever been.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. I mean, especially since Mizzou's been in the SEC. Obviously, when we made the move, it was more of a football league, and obviously football drives everything. But what you're seeing from the SEC in basketball, high-level coaching, the talent level, you're having 8 teams right now in the top 17 and 5 in the top 7. It's really impressive. And Mizzou is right in the middle of the pack right now. This league, though, when it's all said and done, come March, they'll have a lot of risk. They're going to beat up on each other, but it's the best league in college basketball.
One last question I've asked you as many times privately, and we'll close with this. I still would like to see an NBA team. You're working the NBA with the Pelicans. Are we ever going to get an NBA franchise at the T-Mobile Center?
I'd hope. I mean, you and me have talked about this before. It'd be. I mean, I think the city could support it. I think they'd love it. I mean, the NBA game, it's a different product than college basketball, but got a beautiful arena downtown, vacant still. We've talked about in 07. That's what we thought was possibly going to happen, but with the league expanding soon, there's always the conversation around relocation. I don't know if that'll happen or not, but I hope there is a day because I think it would be great for the league too, just to support this. This town is such a big, passionate sports town. very similar to Seattle. Seattle will get an expansion franchise. I kind of see us in that kind of mold in terms of that support. We've seen it with all the teams that have come through here. The current Sporting Kansas City have done so well in terms of support. I think the same for basketball if we were able to add that.
Jarrett, wish you a Merry Christmas.
You too.
And I want to tell Tiger fans we're off for a couple weeks for Christmas and New Year's. We will be back here January 7th. We will have Brad Loos with the athletic department with us that day. So if you need more information about the Tiger Club, go to kctigers.com. Merry Christmas, everybody.